For more awesome content, head to YSTech.org, link in the description. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these PC builds. I've gone to work recently just for the summer, and I've gotten really busy, so unfortunately I haven't really been able to update the videos too much. However, on the bright side is that the majority of the videos I've been putting out are still relevant to today, so feel to watch them as well, but I'm going to give you guys a end of year 2021 send-off PC or Boxing Day gaming PC as well. So this build comes to $1,188.67. Quite a decent price considering the parts we're getting. So let's go through them and the justifications for why I've put them in. So first off, I've gone with the i5-10400F. Now the reason I've gone with it is because it's gone down to nearly under $240 in New Zealand from places like First Wave and Beezito. This is really good value for money considering that this processor is a 6-core processor and it's still really relevant in 2021 and still will be in 2022. Compared to something that you can get such as the AMD Ryzen 3600, Ryzen 5 3600 for nearly $360, the i5-10400F is a much better value proposition. Also considering the i5-11400F, the younger brother of the 10400F, is $318. The 10400F is a far better value for money processor. So my rule would be obviously to try and get the 11400F if it's below $290 New Zealand, but that's not the threshold right now. So if you guys can't get that, get the 10400F. It's at a really great price. Anything below $260 for this processor will be perfectly fine. For the motherboard, I've gone with the Asus Prime B560M-A. Now this is a pretty decent board, but unfortunately it's out of stock, and the prices that they're at the moment is $218. So if you guys don't want to do that, it's perfectly fine and normal. Pick a motherboard, a B560 board. Usually any of them will be perfectly fine for under about $180 New Zealand. The one I've gone for this build in particular though is the Asus Prime B560M-K. This board is $164.99 from Beezito and $159 from First Wave. Pretty decent if you ask me, very similar to my board as well, and it's got a few nice features such as a little bit better cooling on the motherboard over here and over here. So 2 slots for RAM, perfectly fine. Again, motherboard B560 for the Intel CPUs, and anything below $180 should be perfectly fine for this build considering that you're not going to overclock or anything like that. If you're going to overclock, then you're better off with the Z boards probably, but in this instance, for just a simple gaming PC, B560 is more than enough. So there's some options here. There's the MSI one that's currently out of stock, same one over here, and let's head over to the RAM now. So for the RAM, we've got some options here, and the Corsair Vengeance RGB RS 16GB DDR4 3200CL16 is pretty decent. They range from anywhere from $135 down or even $149 from Computer Lounge. A little bit expensive. It's CL16, so that's great. Timings are awesome on this kit of RAM. If you're probably not going to overclock, so CL16 is perfectly fine. Not really sure what die it's using for the RAM, but that's okay. Price is good, but there is another option. So there's a Corsair Vengeance LPX 16GB DDR4 3200CL16, also pretty decent. $139 from Computer Lounge. Can't really go wrong. But if you can catch a special that's ending very soon, unfortunately, you can get 16 gigs of DDR4 3200CL16 from Computer Lounge for $109.99. This is an amazing deal. It's very cheap. It goes about $55 for a 8GB kit of RAM, stick of RAM. Pretty decent for that price. Or even if you want cheaper RGB RAM, the Kingston Fury Beast 16 gigs DDR4 3200CL16, $128.99 from Computer Lounge. Still a great price. Key thing for RAM, 16 gigabytes, DDR4 3200 and CL16, and you'll be perfectly good to go. Anywhere under $140, that's probably the price range I'd be looking at. So let's head over to the storage now. The storage, I've gone with the Seagate Barracuda Q5 500GB M.2 NVMe SSD. It's a great SSD. I actually purchased one myself recently from my sister's laptop, although I'm going to return it because I don't actually need it anymore. I did go with it because it's really relatively cheaply priced. It's only $95 from PBTech or $98 from Computer Lounge. And I think that's a great price for such a high-performing SSD, and especially from Seagate. I think they're offering a really good value proposition here for their SSDs. Now, personally, I actually got the 1TB version of it, so I paid $149 for it, but I will be returning it. That's not because of the SSD itself, it's just because I literally don't need it anymore because my sister's laptop doesn't have an extra M.2 slot. But I would have used it. I think it's a good SSD to get, quite decently priced as well. So I'm pretty Samsung loyal, but you can see that I'm perfectly fine with going Seagate as well. Samsung has some pretty good options, so if you don't want to go NVMe for whatever reason, or let's say you're using multiple hard drives in your PC and you can't use as many as you'd like because of the NVMe, because it uses PCIe 4.04x, I think it takes a little bit of the slots up, the bandwidth, so you can't use, for example, you could use 4 hard drives and 1 SATA SSD, but now you can only use 3 hard drives and 1 NVMe SSD. So you can go with SATA as well here. The Samsung 870 EVO 500GB, perfectly fine. Anything under $114, I'd say is a pretty decent price for a 500GB 870 EVO SSD. I think that's a great price for this SSD. Anything under $114 or $110, you'll be perfectly fine. Now we've got another option for NVMe drives, and it's the Samsung 970 EVO Plus. You'll see this is quite a repetitive thing over my videos. I do like Samsung SSDs. I do believe they last quite a long time. In my experience, I've not really had any issues with Samsung SSDs ever. I can vouch for them, at least the ones I have. And, you know, they're really quick, they're durable, they are relatively well priced for the type of durability and quality you're getting. So $109 for the Samsung 970 EVO 500GB on special right now. That's a really good price. Anything under $122, $125 for the 970 EVO Plus is perfectly fine and is a decent price. So keep that in mind. NVMe is a much faster, well, in most instances compared to SATA, but you know, if you can go NVMe, do try to get it. So now onto the weird part, the graphics card. So the graphics card, I've gone for the Palette GeForce RTX 3060 Ti as an example to show you guys the difference in pricing and kind of the tiers of graphics cards that you can get. So this graphics card is $1,095. That's quite expensive, isn't it? So it's not actually the one I've chosen for this build. Now the reason I haven't chosen it for this build is just because it's over $1,000. Now you're going to be saying, what's wrong with me? The next card I'm choosing is the Sapphire Radeon RX 6600 XT at $948. So only about $100 difference. So why would I do that? The reason I've done that is because I think the chances of these cards coming down in price, the RX 6600 XT, is actually at a far greater proposition compared to the RTX 3060 Ti. So I do believe that the RTX 3060 Ti's are going to stay above $1,000. If you can get one for under $1,050 or even $1,090, you'll be perfectly fine with this card. It's very powerful. It can play games at 1080p easily. It's very quick. It has a lot of VRAM, 8 gigs, well, a decent amount actually. And yeah, I mean, it's a great option as well. But honestly, if for most of you guys, an RX 6600 XT would be perfectly fine. Paying anything under, I'd say $950 maximum for this card is perfectly okay. Do keep in mind you could get an RX 6600 XT a few months ago for under about $800 New Zealand. So actually the cheapest one was about $650 from memory. Yeah, so they have gone up in price quite a lot. But the rule I use for graphics cards, or actually any computer component at the moment, is if you see a good deal, take it. If you're uncertain about it, just keep in mind that the price could actually go up, but that's just due to supply issues and shortages and things like that. But I think this is the prices we're going to have to accept. An important note though, a very, very important note for graphics cards right now, is the releases of the 6500 XT and the 3050 Ti for desktops. So hopefully that will bridge the gap of the around $400 to $600 range graphics card, and I really hope it does, because it's really dry in this mid-range market, and I do think there's a complete gap for a new range of graphics cards that absolutely has not been filled in terms of their price range. The graphics cards that have filled that price range are like the 1660 Ti, the 2060, the release 2060, which is not that great compared to something like the RX 6600 XT. The 1650 Ti, not that great. The 1050 Ti that's been re-released, or not re-released, just made into production again. In that $300 to $600 range graphics card are just not that great of an option. I have a great video, I'll pop it up on screen now, if you guys want to check out why it's difficult to justify actually building a PC in 2021. However, it is something we have to get used to in terms of this equilibrium pricing. So I'm going to give you guys a summary on that if that absolutely made no sense. So a graphics card tier list. We have the RTX 3060 Ti on top. Next, we have the RX 6600 XT. Next, after that, we have the RTX 3060. And lastly, we have the RX 6600. Now, this is based on the newly released graphics cards. I haven't included the 2060 in here that was re-released because I don't think it's that great an option, to be honest. In any case, if you can get a 2060 for below $600, which is nearly impossible, then it's perfectly fine. But if you can't, brand new, these are all brand new, then it's not that great an option. So any of these graphics cards would be perfectly fine. Just do keep in mind the price. Use Price Spy to make sure you're getting the best value. Check deals, check around, see if they can do some price matching. I know it's a little bit awkward to ask sometimes, but I think that's a great option. So I mean, even if you guys go half second hand and take a brand new graphics card, that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty smart thing to do. You can get pretty nice 6-core builds from the 2nd gen Ryzen off Trade Me. Buy that and then pair it up with a good graphics card and you'll be set. You'll be saving some money as well, which is great. So after all of the graphics card stuff, we now have the case. So I've gone with the Corsair 4000D. Okay, this one should be airflow front panel. I've actually accidentally chosen the one that's not. So this one is fine, but I personally like the one with the airflow front panel compared to the solid panel. At the moment, this one's $121 from PBTech on special, or $149 at normal price from Computer Lounge. It's a good case, as it is. It's the 4000D. But another case that's also great is the P300A. I also think this is a great case. It's $101 from PBTech at the moment. It comes with 2 fans and it comes with 3 fans actually, so you can take one out from the front and put it at the back. I actually built my friend's cousin's PC with this case, and it was amazing to build with. It was so easy, it's high quality, and I think everything is really well made in this case. So I highly recommend it as well. The Fantex Eclipse P300A or the 400A, both extremely good cases. They have the airflow front panel, and I think they come with plenty fans to compensate for anything like that. So there's also another case, is the Cooler Master Masterbox MB520. It's $126. It's okay. It has a little bit of the mesh front panel here, but it's also another option to consider. Also the Cooler Master Masterbox MB311L 8 RGB, currently on special I believe for $106 from PBTech. But my absolute recommendation, if you can get the Corsair 4000D, would be the Fantex P300A. It's a great case in New Zealand. It's well priced. Anything under $150 for this case would be perfectly fine. Let's get the power supply now. So I've gone with the Be Quiet Pure Power 11 FM 650 watt gold certified modular power supply. It comes in at about $137 from PBTech. It's a really good power supply. It's well made, has good components in it. If you guys can't get the Corsair RMX 600 watt version of it, then this would also be a great option. The Corsair RMX I personally like a lot over here, but it's hard to find at the moment. They're actually quite in short supply, which is really weird. But also great power supply. There's also another one called the Silverstone Strider. Really good power supply, and my friend uses it in his PC. I built his PC. I built 2 PCs with that power supply in it. I think it's pretty good. I built one PC with the Be Quiet one in now, and it was really easy to work with, and my personal rig has a RMX 750X in it, so pretty good options to think of. And all up, the build comes to about $1,811. Sorry, I think this is incorrect here, so I'll just fix that now. So the build totals about $1,828. That's a correction from the start of the video as well. I have the incorrect power supply in this build, so it should total around there with these type of components. It's a great build. It's going to be playing your games easily at 1080p and some of the latest titles easily at probably 40 to 60 FPS, such as Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's a very powerful system, I can say that for sure. Personally, I actually have an RTX 3070 at the moment, very powerful. But this build will be perfectly fine playing AAA titles at 1080p and maybe low at 1440p, and just esport titles really well. 6-core processor, very powerful. So I think it's a good build as a whole. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit long, but I haven't done one of these in a while. So make sure you guys go check out YSTech.org for the latest post reviews and much more. I'll see you guys there at YSTech.org. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.